And Iowa has Caitlin Clark, who's become this huge star. She's amazing, and she's getting all this attention, and some nasty press reporters are...
Megyn Kelly just made waves with bold comments about the WNBA's treatment of Caitlin Clark, setting the basketball world abuzz. Kelly didn't hold back, calling out the league for allegedly treating Clark as though she's the enemy, a stance that's causing a major stir. Her remarks have the WNBA in an uproar, sparking intense discussions about player dynamics and treatment within the league. Fans and analysts alike are weighing in, and Kelly's bombshell statements are pushing the entire league into the spotlight. Let's dive into the details everyone's talking about.
What a bunch of spoiled, jealous brats. All I want to hear from them is thank you. That's it. That's all they should be saying to Caitlin Clark. Thank you so much for calling attention to our sport that literally no one cares about. Nobody. No one cares about women's basketball. They don't care about it at the college level. They don't care about the WNBA. The only reason they're watching it now is because of that one woman who apparently, I'm not a sports person, but I'm told is the Michael Jordan of women's basketball.
Megyn Kelly didn't hold back, openly criticizing the WNBA for its treatment of Caitlin Clark. She made it clear she believes Clark is being treated unfairly, and her words are resonating far and wide. Kelly's strong stance is sparking major discussions in the sports world.
People like Sunny Hostin, who's upset about her white privilege and her pretty privilege. You know, Sunny Hostin's out there openly admitting to how much cosmetic work she's had done. So just take a seat on your pretty privilege. Okay, it's not just Sunny. There's sports writers Jamel Hill. She's met... And one other point, okay, because this one's just so annoying. One other point. Why is it a problem that the majority of WNBA players are black and Caitlin Clark, who's got all this attention, is white? When Serena Williams came into tennis, which had traditionally been an all-white sport, I mean, it was white as a daisy, and then in come these amazing sisters, was the world saying, this is the face of a white person's sport. Yeah, I'm sure there were a couple of races who were saying that. But the community, the tennis community, welcomed them with open arms.
You might be wondering why Megyn Kelly, not typically one for sports drama, is speaking up. But what's happening to Caitlin Clark is so shocking that even Kelly couldn't stay silent. Her unexpected involvement highlights just how serious she thinks the situation is.
She's been in the WNBA for 2 minutes. There's no reason to hate her other than the amount of attention she's getting and her skin color. I mean, would this be happening to a black Caitlin Clark?
No.
Getting the same amount of attention.
Things get intense as Megyn Kelly reveals that Caitlin Clark is facing more than just tough competition. She's dealing with outright abuse on the court, according to Kelly. Even more shocking, Kelly claims the WNBA is turning a blind eye to it, letting this treatment continue unchecked. This revelation has sparked a major outcry. Kelly didn't stop there. She connected Clark's treatment to larger issues in women's sports. Noting Clark's recent rise in popularity, Kelly suggested that the attention might actually be driving the backlash. Her comments have sparked intense debate, shedding light on challenges women athletes face even at the highest levels. Kelly's accusations are stirring up serious controversy. She isn't just addressing fouls or tough play. She claims there's a deep-seated racial tension within the WNBA, with Caitlin Clark caught right in the center. This bold assertion has fans, players, and analysts fired up on all sides, fueling a heated discussion about the dynamics and challenges within women's sports. Kelly's comments have put the league under intense scrutiny. So, is Kelly right about all this? That's the big question. Regardless, her comments have everyone taking a closer look at the WNBA. Kelly suggests that Caitlin Clark is transforming women's basketball, bringing it into the mainstream spotlight. But not everyone seems thrilled about it. This pushback, according to Kelly, exposes deeper tensions within the league, as Clark's rising popularity challenges the status quo, sparking a critical conversation about progress and inclusivity in women's sports. This is more than just a bit of sports drama. It's a seismic shift shaking the entire WNBA to its core. Megyn Kelly's claims about Caitlin Clark's treatment have set off a chain reaction, sparking outrage and discussions that are bound to resonate for a long time. According to Kelly, Clark's recent black eye didn't come from a night out, but from the brutal intensity on the court, and that's just the beginning. Kelly isn't talking about typical hard play. She's suggesting that Clark is facing aggression so intense it sometimes feels more like boxing than basketball. Imagine witnessing plays where the usual hustle and defense have been replaced with action so intense, it's as if some players forgot they're supposed to be dribbling and not throwing punches. Kelly's comments imply that there's a darker undercurrent here, one that might be linked to deeper tensions within the league itself. Clark's meteoric rise and popularity seem to be creating friction, and Kelly's words are shining a spotlight on the WNBA, urging fans, officials, and players to take a hard look at what's really happening. The world of women's basketball may never look the same again as this controversy unfolds. Let's kick things off with the black eye incident. During a game against the Connecticut Sun, Caitlin Clark was scratched on the eye by Dune Carrington's fingernails. Can you believe that? What's even more shocking is that no foul was called. Not even a whistle was blown. It's as if the referees were watching a completely different game. This incident highlights a troubling pattern in how some players are allowed to play aggressively without consequence, raising serious questions about fairness and safety in the league. But it gets even crazier. After the game, Dune Carrington had the audacity to say, "I didn't even know I hit her. Are you kidding me? How can you not realize you just scratched someone's eye?" It's not like Caitlin Clark was trying to hide the injury. She was visibly sporting a black eye for days afterward. This lack of accountability and awareness is astounding, adding to the mounting concerns about how such incidents are handled in the WNBA. Carrington's comments only fuel the fire of criticism regarding the treatment of players and the officiating in the league. And that's not even the worst of it. Caitlin Clark has been getting knocked around like a pinball, with play after play highlighting the aggressive treatment she's facing. We're talking about players deliberately colliding with her during inbound passes, elbows flying in every direction, and don't even get me started on the so-called accidental trips. It's as if there's a target on her back, with other players seemingly taking liberties that go well beyond the norms of fair competition. This ongoing pattern raises serious concerns about player safety and the level of officiating in the WNBA. You might think this is just tough basketball, but think again. The statistics don't lie, and they're painting a troubling picture. The number of fouls not being called in Caitlin Clark's games is astonishing. It's as if there's an unwritten rule allowing her to be beaten up on the court. In basketball, there's a distinction between physical play and the kind of treatment Clark is enduring. This goes beyond tough defense. Players are actively trying to intimidate her and throw her off her game. Yet, despite these efforts, Clark continues to dominate, which likely frustrates some opponents even more. This situation transcends just Clark. It speaks to a larger culture within the league. It raises serious questions about player safety, fair competition, and the future of women's basketball. If the WNBA treats its rising stars this way, what message does that send to young girls aspiring to go pro? The implications are significant, suggesting that the league may not be as supportive as it should be for its top talent. Remember when we thought this was solely about basketball? Think again. There's a whole other game being played behind the scenes, one that has little to do with what happens on the court. Some commentators argue that race is at the heart of the controversy surrounding Clark. This dynamic could be influencing how she's perceived and treated within the league, revealing uncomfortable truths about systemic biases in sports. As Clark continues to break records and challenge expectations, the reactions to her success might not just reflect competition, but deeper societal issues that need to be addressed. This is a pivotal moment for the WNBA, one that could shape its future and the treatment of its players for years to come. You might be wondering why we're discussing race in this context. Well, there's a significant elephant in the room that many seem reluctant to address. Some are suggesting that there's a racial element to the backlash against Caitlin Clark. I know that's a heavy accusation, but it's crucial not to overlook this aspect of the narrative. It's like a volcano that's been bubbling beneath the surface and is now starting to erupt. Consider this. About 70% of WNBA players are Black. That's a critical factor to think about when you consider how much attention a white player like Clark is receiving. This disparity in attention and treatment raises questions about underlying biases within the league and its fan base. As Clark breaks records and captures the spotlight, her prominence may be provoking tensions related to race, with some feeling that a white player receiving this level of recognition might overshadow the accomplishments of black players in the league. This dynamic complicates the narrative around Clark's rise and highlights broader societal issues that extend beyond the basketball court. Wait, isn't this just about talent? Well, it's not that simple. Some people argue that Caitlin Clark's popularity isn't solely based on her skills. They're pointing to concepts like pretty privilege and white privilege. Can you believe it? Sunny Hostin even remarked that Clark might be more relatable to a broader audience because of her appearance and race. This raises uncomfortable questions about how much societal perceptions of beauty and race play a role in determining who gets recognition in sports. It suggests that Clark's success might be intertwined with factors that extend far beyond her undeniable talent on the court. But it gets even more complicated. There are claims that some black women in the WNBA are feeling resentful toward Caitlin Clark. They believe that the attention and praise she's receiving should be shared among black players as well.
Go ahead and look. Everywhere you turn, Indiana Fever is breaking records. All Cheryl Swoops did was validate all the speculation that there's folks hating on Caitlin Clark. That's all she did. Because to know basketball like Cheryl Swoops does, to be as accomplished as she is, to be the Hall of Famer that she is, all accolades that are well-deserved. And I'm certainly not attacking Cheryl Swoops the person because I think she's a wonderful person. How do you talk about the Indiana Fever and mention a multitude of players and not one of them is Caitlin Clark, who, by the way, as a rookie is leading the league in assists? How do you do that? I told y'all that. I've argued with the great Andrea Carter, outstanding analyst for ESPN, right here on this podcast. I've argued with Janae Ogumake, who's an outstanding basketball analyst, and Monica McNutt, one of the preeminent voices of the New York Knicks, and what she's doing with her career. They know they got my support, all love. But I'm waiting for you to say I was right. Caitlin Clark can ball. She should have been on Team USA.
This situation is reflective of deeper issues within the league, where Clark's success is inadvertently shining a spotlight on feelings of exclusion and inequity among players. It raises questions about how media narratives and public perception can create divides, especially in a league where the majority of players are black. As Clark continues to dominate and attract media coverage, it may feel to some like their contributions are being overshadowed, leading to frustration and resentment. This dynamic complicates the conversation around race, talent, and recognition, illustrating that the intersection of these factors is far from straightforward. It's a reminder that success in sports can often be influenced by societal structures that go well beyond the court itself. Check this out. Jamila Hill boldly stated that Caitlin Clark's race and sexuality play a significant role in her popularity. She believes that Clark's presence in the league highlights how black players often get marginalized or pushed to the side. That's a striking assertion, don't you think? Hill's comments underscore the complexities of race and identity in sports, suggesting that the narrative surrounding Clark is intertwined with broader issues of representation and recognition for black athletes in the WNBA. Here's where it gets really intense. Some people view the hostility toward Caitlin Clark as a reaction to her being a white woman in a league predominantly comprised of black women. It seems her success is stirring up complex feelings and tensions that have existed for quite some time. This dynamic raises important questions about race, identity, and how achievement is perceived within a diverse sporting landscape like the WNBA. So, what does all this mean for the WNBA? It's prompting a much-needed examination of tough issues within the league. This situation has evolved beyond just one player. It encompasses broader themes of race, gender, and the dynamics of attention in sports. Ignoring these complexities won't make them disappear. It's time for the league to confront these realities head-on, no matter how uncomfortable the discussions might be. Now that we've unpacked the full story surrounding Megyn Kelly's bombshell comments, the question looms: what's next for Caitlin Clark and the league? This drama is far from over. In fact, analysts are suggesting that the WNBA may need to change its policies in response to these tensions. There's talk of potentially introducing new rules regarding player conduct and revising promotional strategies to better reflect the league's diverse landscape, all sparked by the impact of Caitlin Clark. But here's the real twist. While some might expect Clark to back down amid the escalating drama, she's doing just the opposite. She has made it clear that she intends to continue competing at the highest level, undeterred by the scrutiny and tension surrounding her. Talk about determination. For those who don't support Caitlin Clark's game, she's not shy about saying they're just flat-out haters.
Well, look, right now, she's very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. And you know what that is? Kudos to her, because that means not only has she been putting in the work behind the scenes, but that means she's been a student of the game and in the film room. When you're at that position, the point guard position, and you're leading the charge, you have to figure things out. But all I was hearing was, oh, it's gonna be an adjustment for Caitlin Clark. She's gonna have to get used to the physicality. People are gonna be going at her. And they tried it, and it didn't work. Here she is right now breaking all kind of records. Here she is right now leading her team into the postseason. Here she is right now standing on business. If I had to evaluate her season right now and give a fair evaluation, I would say she has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the hype that she had, the expectations she had to live up to, packing out arenas on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people out there waiting to see her fail, and still keeping her composure as a rookie and leading this team has been a beautiful thing to see.
What does all this mean for the future of the WNBA? One thing is certain. This controversy isn't going away anytime soon. We're on the brink of a new chapter in women's basketball, and Caitlin Clark is right at the center of it all. With discussions around race and identity gaining momentum, the league will have to navigate these waters carefully to ensure that all players feel valued and recognized. As we look ahead, it's clear that the WNBA faces significant challenges and opportunities. Buckle up, because this ride is just getting started, and how the league responds to these unfolding events could shape its future for years to come. With Caitlin Clark leading the charge, the dynamics of women's basketball are set to change, and the world will be watching closely to see how it all unfolds. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel. You can watch more videos from us here.